Let's go to The Age. I was going to stick with the SMH, but the same story I looked at on the SMH is the splash on The Age, so we'll go to The Age. China raises stakes with diplomatic payback. China has taken the first formal step towards severing government ties with Australia after more than a year of incremental trade strikes, veiled threats from the Chinese embassy and escalating attacks by Chinese state media. Beijing sent a message to Australia yesterday that all dialogue at the political level will be cut off for years after the superpower's top economic planner suspended the China-Australia Strategic Economic Dialogue. Now, this is interesting. It's interesting for a number of reasons, but I think when we look back on the last 6 to 9 months, Lisa, we can see the way in which China has imposed trade sanctions, particularly in relation to beef, particularly in relation to wine, particularly in relation to a whole range of timber, a whole range of lobsters, a whole range of produce and so on. This is just a continuation of that. And my understanding is, and having spoken to David Littleproud about this on a number of occasions, the Australian agricultural sector and certainly other sectors within the country are diversifying away from China in a very, very rapid fashion. And in fact, the suggestion is even when they're trying to put the screws on coal, it's actually affecting their ability to provide heat to their people.
Yeah, look, plain and simple, it seems to be a retaliation strike. Australia said, no, Belt and Road Initiative, torn up, done, get out. You're not going to have your way in Victoria. And suddenly we have China saying, well, we're going to stop all communication at that level. However, this agreement was signed in 2014. Now, from what I've read, communication stopped back in 2017. And in May last year, when we were sitting here saying, they're now putting a ban on our beef, there was no one picking up the phone or replying to communications from Canberra in China. The wall of silence happened back then. So this should come as no surprise. And look, and if they weren't already annoyed about the decision about Belt and Road, well, you've got Peter Dutton asking questions about Darwin and the Darwin port. Questions that should be asked, that need to be asked. And I think the majority of Australians want to see China out of our Darwin port. So that can't make them happy either. So this is far from the end of it. It's been escalating, as you say, since May last year when we were talking about the first lot of trade attacks on us. And we're not backing down. And China doesn't like that. And while we're going, Gleeson, let's add the Newcastle port.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all bets are off. I mean, the reality is, when you think about what they are doing in the South Pacific, Lisa, the way in which their Belt and Road strategy, which is a euphemism for we'll tie you up in knots economically, and when the piper has to be paid, we'll come knocking. I mean, some of the...
we'll take your infrastructure.
The gratuitous way in which they'll build a port in Vanuatu, basically send the country broke on the basis that it has to pay them back. And then all of a sudden, when they can't pay, they say, oh, well, we'll just now take it all over. Look, it is a scandal. It is a scandal.